Hey guys, so I realized that, you know, I had talked about doing a lot of upgrades, and I really haven't done a very good job of following up on what those upgrades are. So we're going to take a quick walk around the trailer. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've added to this NuCamp tag Outback to make it a little bit more ready for what I want to use it for. And the first thing I want to talk about is these solar panels. So these solar panels are 25 watts a piece. I bought them from Harbor Freight, and really I just bought them really as sort of a band-aid because I was finding that I was draining my batteries pretty darn quickly, like within maybe less than 2 days. And that's okay if you're taking these things out just for a weekend trip. Anything much above and beyond that, if you're not hooked up to shore power, then you need something, right? I have the generator as well, but one of the problems with generators is it's really loud, and a lot of the campsites, the pay-for campsites, have quiet hours, so you can't run the generator. Plus, you want to be polite to your camping neighbors as well, right? So, like I said, 25 watts a piece, 100 watts for all of them. I will tell you, from a price perspective, this was a really good deal, 200 bucks. However, there are much better solar panels out there. So in the end, I'll probably end up going with Zamp, just because it's a familiar brand and I've heard nothing but good things about them. These are not quite as efficient. It may be hard to tell in the video, but the footprint of the size of this for 100 watts, you could get almost double that with a system like Zamp. Plus, Zamp has a little portable suitcase one that packs up really nicely. The other thing I had looked at is possibly putting the solar panels up on the roof, but then having thumb screws so that I could undo them later. So, and really I want to talk about that real quick as well. So one of the things with the trailer is, you know, you're going to want to more than likely park this thing in the shade. I didn't really have a choice this time, but if I did, I would have been in the shade. And in that case, you know, the amount of sun that you get is pretty limited. So one of the things that I found was you definitely want to have the ability to move these around and follow the sun, because the sun's going to go from, you know, east to west, obviously. And rather than turning the trailer, which is, you know, kind of absurd, having these things be external, you can just kind of shift them. It takes like 30 seconds. So that's upgrade number one. So on upgrade number two, I added another 20-pound propane tank. The NuCamp tag already comes with a 20-pound tank that's attached to the back of the stove. However, if you want to run any furnace, or you want to run a heater or anything like that, you'll find that having that extra tank is actually quite useful. Then you don't have to worry about swapping back and forth between the two tanks. Fits really, really well on top of the shelf. Any trailer store is going to have these cases, as well as the mounting brackets, and this thing's been awesome. I can carry double the amount of propane that I was carrying before, and I had talked about in one of the videos, but I'll remind everyone that, you know, propane's a lot more efficient than gasoline generators. Speaking specifically for heaters, right? I could have gone with an electric heater, but the electric heater would have required running the generator. And then at that point, I could only run the generator for about 4 hours. So in any case, having this propane was really crucial for me. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about is the hitch system, right? I had looked at two hitches in particular, the max coupler and the lock and roll system. I thought I was going to go with max coupler, but what I found is it was actually easier to find this. I bought this on eTrailer. I think I paid 250 bucks, somewhere around there, for the hitch itself. I took it to the local welding shop and I paid them $200 to weld it, remove the old ball and hitch, and put this in its place. And since I put this on here, man, it has made a world of difference, both on-road and off-road. So when I'm on-road, I can't hear it at all. And it seems to actually start and stop a little bit better as well, because you don't have that little bit of play and wiggle room, which obviously is where the noise comes from as well. Taking it off-road, I would not have been able to get this trailer back to some of the places that I've been to on the normal ball and hitch system. It would have damaged it, or it would have disconnected it. So This is one of the best upgrades I've made because it has allowed me to get to places I would not be able to go otherwise. The other thing I want to talk about is you'll notice I've got another battery on this shelf. So that's because I found that two 6-volt batteries actually produce a significant amount more runtime or amp hours than a standard 12-volt battery. So what I found was I was able to run about 2, maybe 3 days on the normal 12-volt battery that's inside the tongue box here. Once I went to two 6-volt batteries, I can run 5, 6 days without being plugged into shore power, without even connecting the solar up. I can pretty much go out for a week without having to worry about draining the battery. So you need two of them. I pulled the old 12-volt out of the tongue box and replaced it with the 6-volt, and then I put the second 6-volt here. You connect them in series, and basically you get 220 amp hours versus, I think, and I could be wrong here, but I think I read 120 minute runtime on the 12-volt system. I mean, that's night and day. So big improvement. And then I know I've already talked about it, but I can't say enough about this Rhino Rack Batwing awning. So this awning basically doubles, it might even triple the amount of space that I can use, and it packs down so compact and portably that I can still get back to any place that the Jeep itself can get back to. And then by the time I get there, I've got an entire campsite set up. So very happy with this product. This is what the awning looks like with the panels inserted, and I don't know if the video can really do this justice, but there is a tremendous amount of room in this thing. So basically, and by the way, on Rhino Rack's site they say that only 3 panels are supported, but in actuality 4 are. So, and they zip right into the top of the awning here, right? So you already saw us set up the awning, and then on the inside I've got a little, space, a desk set up. I mean, that's how big this thing is I've got a table on the inside of this whole setup, and basically I use that to set my laptop up and do any of the video editing that I've been posting on YouTube, right? So as we walk around through here, like, you've got a tremendous amount of space here. So, and one of the things that I had talked about in one of my previous videos was that I was having problems with the flames going out on the kitchen, right? So this awning basically takes care of all of that. So this is fully enclosed all the way around, right? So tremendous amount of space. And actually, I would even think that if we added another panel on this far wall here, you could almost turn this into sleeping space for guests or whatever else, and you could set up a cot here, have someone sleep here pretty comfortably. It's not 100% sealed, as you can see. There's openings on either side, but the amount of space that you get when adding the side panels to this awning system is just amazing. I'm pretty happy with it as far as cost goes. I think I paid $700 for the awning itself, which, I did in stages, right? So basically, I did, we're going to turn around here just so you can get an idea of the space, but so I did this in stages, right? I think I paid $700 for the Rhino Rack Batwing awning, and that by itself was a great investment. Everything is embedded into it. You saw that in the setup video, right? The side panels are $200 a piece, and that is pricey, but what you get for it is pretty phenomenal. So $200 per panel. There's 3 panels in here right now, right? So that's $600 for the panels, and then $700 that quickly adds up. But I'm telling you guys, you know, once you make that investment, the amount of shelter that this provides from sun, wind, rain, all the rest of that is phenomenal. I've already set up the tent just to save a little bit of time. Basically, and maybe I'll take another video and show you guys just how easy it is to get this thing set up. It took me about 2 minutes. The beautiful thing about these rooftop tents is they store really compact just on the top. So all you gotta do is basically pull the cover off and flip the one side down, and there's tons of videos out there on that stuff, guys, so I don't want to waste too much time. But really what I wanted to talk about was why I'm going with the rooftop tent when I already have the teardrop. So one of the things that I was finding was the teardrop is definitely more comfortable. It's still able to get to 90% of all the roads that I want to get back to. I am a little curious, even though I've had these things on like moderate to difficult 4x4 Jeep trails, I'm a little concerned about taking it to places like Moab. So in that case, this is a great alternative. The other thing is, I've got a buddy of mine coming out from California, and we're taking a road trip from Colorado out to California. And you know, although we're close friends, yeah, I wanted him to be comfortable, have his own space, all the rest of that. So hence the rooftop tent. So a couple of unique things about the rooftop tent. Stores super compact. I already talked about that. Basically wherever the vehicle goes, that's where you're going. This is a 4-season tent, so it's supposed to stay cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and pretty unique. This is a 3-man tent, but in reality, you could probably fit 2 people in there pretty comfortably. I would say 3 would be extremely tight. Maybe 2 adults and a kid, maybe. And we'll take a look at in a minute here. So I love the amount of windows and flaps. This particular model has a sunroof or skylight or whatever you want to call it. Pretty unique. The material itself is really, really thick. It's made out of really good construction. And the other thing is, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is really windy out here right now. In fact, I had to put more guy lines on my awning than I normally do just to prevent it from flapping around and flying all over the place. And look, this thing's pretty solid. So I'm pretty impressed. These rooftop tents all are made in the same factory in China, but all the materials are all a little bit different, and each one of them puts a little twist on it. Tepui is a really well-known brand, so I decided to go with that, and we'll take a look here and I'll show you around. So alright guys, so we are on the inside of the Tepui 3-man tent. Again, I'll post the model just so you guys have it for your reference. You know, I only opened 2 windows here, and really the only reason I opened them was for the lighting. So I wanted to give you an idea of just how roomy it is. So I am now on, you know, one side of the tent, right? If you look, there, really this is a 2-man tent. They're calling it a 3-man, but it is a 2-man. The material itself is actually, you know, like I said before, really, really sturdy, and it's super comfortable up here. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you guys what the view looks like. So it's not much of a view, but if you look down, right, we're sitting on top of the vehicle right now, which is pretty cool. Get you off the ground. You don't have to worry about insects or critters or any of the rest of that. To my original thought, you know, Colorado has a ton of forest, a ton of well, just places where you can pretty much take a county road or a forest road or a fire road or whatever else, and because it's national forest, you can camp pretty much anywhere as long as you can get your camping gear back there, which again, this all goes back to the idea of the teardrop and the rooftop tent. So pretty awesome. So far I'm pretty happy with this purchase. One thing I did notice was, and I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but it looks like I may have caught an ember or something on the sidewall here, so I'm gonna have to patch that. But That's another consideration too, guys, is when you set these things up, make sure you're not near any open flame. I was pretty careful. I was way far away from our flame, but you know, if it's pretty windy and those embers don't go out in enough time, my guess is one of our neighbors' campsites had an ember fly over. Not their fault. It's just the nature of camping, right? So we'll have to get some patch kit, repair that. But honestly, it's probably okay for weather and rain and things like that. But just to be sure, we're gonna repair it. So anyway. That is it, guys. That's the inside of the tent. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Feel free to post below. If you guys have comments, suggestions, anything like that, please post that too. I learn a lot from you guys just as much as I learn, you know, from being out on the road. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next part of the trip.